Hey guys, I'm Robert Hamm with RobertHammPhotography.com. You can find me on Twitter at RobHammPhoto. You can even find me on Facebook and YouTube at /Robert Hamm Photography. Today, I'm giving you my overview and first impressions of the Canon Black Beauty, also known as the Canon EF. So this camera was pretty excited. I found this in a thrift store. I got interested in shooting film. You can find out all about that, but here's what happened. I got the Pentax KX. And I was shooting with that, and I had so much fun, I decided it was time to go running around and finding cameras in thrift stores. I said, I can do this. I looked online on eBay and everything, and I said, I'm gonna do this myself. So I studied up, I followed some videos about how to tell if you got a good camera on the film camera, and I just decided to roll the dice. And I paid $75 for this camera. It came with, this is the camera Canon EF, itself, right? It came with the 2.8 aperture f2.8 28 millimeter. It came with the f1.8 50 millimeter. It came with a 3.5 to 5.6 or a 4.5 or whatever Vivitar zoom out to 120, and it came with a doubler. It came with the flash that was originally. It came with so much stuff for $75. I thought to myself, even if the camera was sold for parts for 25 bucks and each of the lenses were sold for $20, I would have at least made my price back. The reality is, on eBay current listing for this $75 buy, if you were to put everything and average it out against all that I got for all that I paid, it's about $300 worth of what current value gear on eBay for 75 bucks. So I thought to myself, this is great. And actually, you know what, I am playing around with the idea of taking these cameras out and shooting them, enjoying them, and then selling them so that other people can enjoy a nice film camera, and at least they'll know that the camera came from a source that works. So I'm thinking about that. I'm also still trying to decide on a name for the Shoot Film series, so go ahead and put that in the link below. All right, so I know we're 2 minutes into it and it's like, what's happened? Well, I wanted to tell you the story of how I came by this camera. This 28 millimeter lens, I really like it. I really like the full frame 28. That's a good feeling for me. I enjoy how it works, but the camera is really cool. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it from the top. From our top plate right here, we've got our film. This is our film count. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. We have our shutter speed. Shutter speed is from bulb to 1,000th of a second, actually 30 seconds to 1,000th of a second. This is an electromechanical shutter designed camera, which is pretty cool. Let me tell you what that means. Everything from like 2 seconds or from half a second down is controlled by batteries in the grip. Everything from that 1 second and up, or yeah, one second and up, whatever. Everything from 1 to 1,000 is controlled mechanically. You do not need batteries to use this. The batteries that are in this work the light meter inside. This is a shutter speed priority camera as compared to an aperture priority camera, and that is different for me because I don't shoot an aperture priority with my Fujis, but I do find that I shoot an aperture priority with the Pentax. But anyways, let's continue. There's a nice hot shoe right here. This feels solid. I enjoy that, and it uses, you know, the X flash. This is a TTL hot shoe with Canon's super auto exposure metering system, which is pretty cool. You've got a battery check light right there. This is this checks. I forget what it checks. All right, sorry. This right here is your film rewind in advance, and you've got your ASA. You just pull up and twist. Your ISO. Around to the side, you have your flash sync options right here, which is pretty cool if you want to use an off manual flash. This is, we'll just go on to the bottom of the camera now. At the bottom of the camera, you've got your batteries. I forget which one does which, but one does the light meter, one does the electromechanical shutter for the long shutter speeds. Then you've got your battery check. If you push a little button and this LED doesn't light up, you got an issue. This is your shutter release, of course, in your film rewind. At the front of the camera, we've got some cool stuff. We've got our mirror lockup functions and depth of field preview by manipulating these with this. This is also a self-timer depending on which way you allow it to go. You pull it. And then lastly, on the back, there's no memo holder. And as these are FD lenses, so they actually tighten on by twisting the aperture ring. So the whole lens doesn't twist, it kind of screws on in that respect. Pretty cool. When you look on the inside of it, the you have all of your information in view, from your shutter speeds on your right to your aperture on the left. This has an automatic aperture, so the battery will also, that you put in here, will run the aperture control based on your shutter speed. And that's pretty cool if you want to be able to know and lock in your shutter speed directly. It also has, you can also, you know, do step down, stop down metering if you want to. Here's what I found. Oh, there's a button on the back. You got to turn it on and off. And when you turn it on, the film advance will open, and that turns on the light meter, and then you would advance it all the way and take your picture. When you turn it off, it just clicks back in. And you can set different spot meters in here to some extent. You can choose different meter readings, or you can lock a meter reading. And that might actually be what this button does, I forget. I haven't used that feature. Here's what I had. I had a roll of Kodak Gold that came with the camera, and a roll of Superior that apparently was really old that came with the camera. And all the film that I shot through this camera appeared to be very poorly exposed. And remember, I don't have anything to look at. If you see my other video, you'll realize I thought I was buying something. I thought I was buying digital scans from Impix, but I wasn't. So all I can see are the really crappy thumbnails. They sent me the film. I tried to scan it. I obviously don't have the right equipment, or else you'd see the images already. So I'm kind of at a loss. I got to start over again. So I'm sending all my film over to thefinelab.com right now, because I want them to scan it and do a good job and all that other stuff. However, so I can't tell if this camera really has a light leak issue or not. The second thing is, I didn't put any of the new batteries in it. The light meter is working, but the battery check on the back is telling me that the batteries are pretty much exhausted, so I'm probably getting crappy readings. So although I took it out and had fun with it and shot some film with it, I didn't get the result I would think I would have got it, or I wanted, because either I should have replaced the batteries and the film exposure wasn't going correct because the light meter wasn't working properly, or the light meter was working properly even though the batteries should be replaced, and the film was too old, which caused it to look fogged. Or, remember, I don't have it in front of me, this is just what I can see in a small thumbnail preview online. Or there's a light leak in here that's letting light in. So there's one of three issues that it could be. Let me tell you about the handling of the camera as I have enjoyed it so far. This is much heavier than the Pentax KX, quite a bit heavier. I do think I enjoy this one a little bit more. I don't know that I like shutter priority compared to aperture priority, but I get it. I get it, especially here, why that would be so important to have like time value priority, shutter priority, because you want to make sure that you're always going to get 1/500th of a second at some particular spot. And since you can't chimp or see the image like you can with a digital camera, you can't go back. So this will definitely make sure that you're getting images that are showing the motion you want to show, whether or not you want it to be frozen or whether or not you want it to be fluid. So I get that. And actually, I'm looking forward to exploring that with film. Because the shutter only goes up to 1/1000th of a second, and because it's hard to find any color film in my experience, and if you know of some, leave it in the link below. It's hard to find any color film down at ISO 50. That means that I'm going to be shooting at pretty high F numbers for my aperture, like 11 and 16, which is not something that I usually do with digital. I usually shoot 2.8, 1.8, use an ND filter. I guess I could do that as well. My point is, I'm looking forward to exploring the different type of photography that I'm just going to do with the camera as it is. Its handling was superb. I really liked it. What I liked most was the ability to just change the shutter speed immediately. By changing the shutter speed, you can see what aperture it's going to pick automatically in the viewfinder, and that can help you there. So if you want a wider aperture for shallower depth of field, you can control that with the shutter. Of course, you can control everything manually using the Sunny 16 rule if you want. Last thing about the Penta Prism, I like the ground glass that's in here. You've got a micro prism and a split image prism in there, and that makes a lot of sense for me. The Pentax KX does not have that. I don't know if you can interchange it or not, but it doesn't have it on that one. Has it on this one, and I find that I like it a lot. All right, guys, that has been my overview of, and my first impressions of the Canon Black Beauty, the FE. You can leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you shoot with this camera? Have you enjoyed it? I got a lot of stuff with this camera I think I told you about, and I just thought it was a really, really great purchase. I'm Robert Hamm with roberthamphotography.com. You can catch me over on Facebook and Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube at /RobertHammPhotography. And as always, keep shooting, my friends. I did Take last time. Maybe I should be Matt Granger. I like Matt Granger too. But I couldn't shoot all the nudes that he does. I'd smile and giggle too much. Matt Granger's another cool channel. Go check him out. All right.